What if you walked into work tomorrow and it was AI running the show? Like, seriously, imagine your dev team, your finance department, even HR, all AI.
It's a wild thought, isn't it? And it's getting closer to reality than you might think.
That's what we're diving into today. This research project called the Agent Company, they basically built a whole fake software company.
Yeah, it's a simulated one to see if AI could actually handle, day-to-day
But not
jobs.
robots walking around, more like AI in the computer systems doing the work
Right, exactly. They used real tools too, like GitLab for code, Rocket Chat for communications, stuff people use every day.
to make it as realistic as possible, I guess.
Yeah, and then they came up with like 175 different tasks based on, real job
Wow,
descriptions.
175 tasks. So, like, what kinds of things?
All sorts. Coding, obviously, but also analyzing data, scheduling meetings, even like filing expense reports.
So they basically threw everything at these AI agents to see if they could sink or swim.
Pretty much. And the results are, well, they're interesting. The top performing AI, they called it Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It could only fully complete 24% of those tasks.
24%? That's a lot lower than I expected.
hmm
I thought AI was supposed to be taking over the world by now.
There's a lot of hype, for sure,
Right.
but this research gives us a more realistic picture. AI has come a long way, but it's not quite ready to replace us humans just yet.
So even the best AI struggled. But what kinds of tasks tripped them up? Was it just that the tasks were too hard, or is there something else going on here?
That's where it gets really fascinating, and I think this is important for anyone listening who's, in a leadership position. The AI was actually amazing at things that are really hard for humans, like writing complicated code or sifting through tons of data.
So the stuff we find hard, the AI found easy.
Exactly. But then, things that humans do without even thinking, like scheduling a meeting or figuring out what kind of file you're looking at, that's where the AI really struggled.
That seems kind of backwards. What's the deal with that?
Think about it. The way these AI models learn, it's by looking at massive amounts of data. For software development, there's tons of that online. Code, documentation, discussions. The AI can just absorb it all.
So for stuff that exists digitally in huge amounts, the AI has a massive advantage.
Exactly. But when it comes to those things we just kind of know how to do, the AI doesn't have that same kind of experience to draw on.
It's like they can read the rule book, but they haven't actually played the game.
Perfect analogy. And that's a crucial insight for businesses, right? We
Yeah.
can't just assume AI can slot right into our ways of working. We have to be aware of what it's good at, but also where it falls short.
So give me some examples. What were some of the epic fails?
Oh, there are some good ones. Like one AI couldn't figure out that a docs file was a Word document. It treated it like plain text.
Oh no, imagine that happening in real life. Chaos.
Right. And then another one, it couldn't find the right person to contact on Rocket Chat, so it just renamed someone else to pretend it was them.
That's both hilarious and terrifying. Okay, so we've established AI isn't taking over just yet. But where does it fit in? How can businesses use it right now?
That's the million-dollar question, and that's what we'll get into as we go deeper into these job categories that the Agent Company looked at.
Sounds good. I'm ready to hear more.
Let's do it.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Back in a moment. Okay, so we've got these 7 job categories, right? Let's dig into where AI actually performed well and where it fell a little flat.
All right, let's break it down. Where did AI really shine?
Definitely software development engineering. I mean, it was honestly impressive how well these AI agents handled stuff like, cloning code, building files, even setting up servers.
So the whole AI will replace programmers thing, maybe there's some truth to that.
It's not that simple. It did, well, yeah, like 30% of the software development tasks were fully completed by the AI. But when you look closer, it's more like a really, really good assistant for human developers, not a replacement.
Okay, can you give me like a real-world example? What kind of stuff did the AI nail in that category?
Let's say you're a software company and you need to set up a new database for a client. Usually that's a ton of manual work, right? Finding the right code, setting it up, troubleshooting if it goes wrong. The Agent Company found that the AI could do a lot of that. Like, it could actually go through the company's internal documentation, find the right code base, copy it, and even run it.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. So it's like taking care of all the boring setup stuff so the humans can do the more interesting work.
Exactly. It's like every developer gets a super-powered intern.
I like the sound of that. Okay, so coding, check. What about managing all that coding? Did they look at project management?
Yeah, and that one's interesting. AI was really good at, like, the data side of project management. Pulling info from project management software, analyzing it, spitting out
So
reports.
it's like a super efficient project analyst, basically.
Right. Imagine having instant access to the status of every project, seeing bottlenecks before they happen, all that.
That would free up human project managers to actually, manage the people. Speaking of which, how did the AI do with the people side of things? Motivating teams, resolving conflicts, that kind of stuff.
Not so great. They could technically send messages, but it was all very robotic. No nuance, no empathy, just kind of blunt instructions.
I can see how that would backfire.
Yeah, imagine an AI project manager trying to reschedule a meeting. Just a message saying, meeting moved, no explanation, no checking if people are even available. A human would handle that way better.
So good with the data, bad with the people. Got it. What about data science? That seems like it would be right up AI's alley.
You'd think so, but actually data science was one of the hardest areas for the AI. Cleaning up messy data, understanding complex spreadsheets, even figuring out what charts and graphs actually meant.
Wait, so the AI could make a chart but not understand what it was showing.
Yeah, it's better at finding patterns than understanding what those patterns mean. You still need a human to make sense of it all, to connect the dots and make decisions.
Okay, so data science, more complicated than it looks. What about those everyday office tasks, the stuff that keeps things running, like scheduling and filing? Did they look at that? Oh, yeah, the administrative category. And that was rough for the AI. Even simple things like scheduling meetings or booking travel, it just couldn't handle it.
Probably all those clunky software systems we humans are somehow used to.
Exactly. Those things trip up AI all the time. It's a good reminder that AI needs to learn how to work in our messy human world, not just in a perfectly organized digital one.
Okay, let's talk human resources. AI and HR, that's a whole can of worms.
It is. They focused on tasks like screening resumes, onboarding new employees, things like that.
So, robot recruiters. Was it judging people based on their Instagram followers or something?
No, thankfully not that advanced, but it was actually pretty good at, scanning resumes for keywords and comparing them to job descriptions.
So it could help with the initial filtering of candidates, but I'm guessing not ready to make hiring decisions. Right, the stuff that needs human judgment, empathy, that's still way beyond AI.
Makes sense. Okay, two more categories left. What about finance? Did AI conquer Wall Street?
Not even close. It struggled with understanding financial documents, using accounting software, even basic stuff like reconciling bank statements.
So much for AI taking over the financial world. It couldn't even handle a checkbook, huh?
Well, it's not that bad, but it does show that AI isn't ready to handle the complex decision-making that goes on in finance. Assessing risk, making strategic calls, that's still very much a human domain.
Okay, last one. I see there's a category called Other. What's that all about?
It's kind of a catch-all for those tasks that everyone does, no matter what their job title is. Research, writing reports, giving presentations, stuff like that.
So the general office stuff, how did the AI do?
It was a mixed bag. It was pretty good at gathering information online, summarizing documents, even making basic outlines for reports.
So like a research assistant.
Yeah, kind of. But when it came to actually analyzing that information, making connections, writing something persuasive, it really struggled.
So good at gathering the pieces, but not so good at putting the puzzle together.
Exactly. Again, it's back to that idea that AI excels at the data-driven stuff, but those higher-level thinking skills, those are still very human.
It's like a theme in this whole research project. AI loves data, but it doesn't quite get the messy human world.
That's a great way to put it, and that's what business leaders need to keep in mind as they start using AI.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the future of these jobs, knowing what we know now about AI?
That's the big question, and that's what we'll talk about in the last part of our deep dive. We'll zoom out and look at the bigger picture of what this all means for the future of work. Stay tuned.
Okay, so we've gone deep on what AI can and can't do, at least according to this agent company thing. AI running the whole show. Not quite there yet.
Nope, not yet. But it's definitely changing things fast.
And it's only going to get faster.
Yeah.
Like 2025, things are going to be even crazier.
Yeah.
So what do businesses do? How do they get ready for all this?
Well, first off, we got to be realistic. No more robots are taking over doom and gloom, but also no more AI will solve everything.
Yeah.
Hype,
Yeah. Find that middle ground.
Exactly. And then AI can't just be some random tech project. It's got to be part of a bigger plan. Like, what are you actually trying to achieve? Where can AI actually make a difference?
So don't just jump on the AI bandwagon because everyone else is.
Nope. Got to have a strategy.
Yeah.
And the most important thing, remember the humans.
Right. It's not about replacing people. It's about
Helping them. making their jobs better, letting them focus on the stuff AI can't do.
Which is a lot, as we've seen.
Yeah, and those soft skills everyone talks about, those are going to be even more important. Creativity, critical thinking, communication, that's what sets us apart from the machines.
It's like AI is making us more human, in a way. By taking over the robotic stuff, it lets us be more.
Love that. It's not man versus machine, it's man with machine.
But how do we get there? How do we actually make that happen?
A few things. One, everyone needs to understand AI, at least the basics, demystify it, you know?
Yeah, AI literacy. Can't be some scary black box.
Right. And then start small. Find a specific problem AI can solve, try it out, see what happens.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Nope. Crawl, walk, run. Right. And the big one, invest in your people. Give them the training, the skills, the support they need to work alongside AI.
So they're not afraid of it, they're excited about it.
Exactly. It's about creating a future where humans and AI work together to achieve awesome things.
Okay, so big picture. What's the message for our listeners?
AI is changing everything. The future of work is happening and now, W.
And the businesses that will succeed are the ones that get AI right.
That embrace it, yeah. Strategically, ethically, and with their people at the center of it all.
It's not about fearing the robots. It's about...
building a better future together.
That's a great way to put it. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep building that amazing future. We'll see you next time.